late season fire in 2011. I was boosting Grangeville at the time, and we jumped the fire out of Grangeville. It was in Hell's Canyon on the Oregon side of the river, of the Snake River, and so it was actually, the fire wasn't right on the Snake River, but it was like a quarter mile from the confluence of a large creek and the Snake River, so there was a lot of wind and stuff, and steep terrain, obviously, and it's like that grassy, not much brush except for maybe down in the drainages and timber stringers and the drainages and stuff like that. We jumped it, I want to say around 1800, and then we did a little bit of structure protection around a ranch down in the creek drainage that night, and then the next morning we just put in flapper line for like 3 miles and working up to the main Cactus Mountain ridge system, and then we kind of stayed on the ridge system for like 7 days, just doing small burnouts, connecting the dots. So then we were looking for opportunities to bail off a ridge and kind of pass it down to maybe some resources that were down in the valley. And on the first opportunity we had, we made an attempt, and we were burning off retardant line laid down by seats, and we were burning just below the retardant line, and then allowing our burnout to kind of run into the retardant and then flap out anything that might, creep through the retardant. And then we were kind of making very fast progress. I think we ended up burning about 1.5 miles, and then we handed it off to Type 2 crew, grayback crew, and they, instead of burning just below the retardant line, they were trying to actually light with torches, and we were just using fusees with great success. And they actually had drip torches, which they should have had a little more horsepower with the torches. And I think they burned like a 1/4 mile in 5 hours. They were trying to burn through the retardant instead of below it, and then utilizing the retardant as line, which was the intent of it. And as that was doing that, the evening winds were picking up in the main Snake river drainage, and it caused the fire to wrap around the ridge system that we were using as kind of like a buffer. So the main fire was a ridge beyond the ridge that we were burning, and it had worked down into the main drainage, caught that main wind, and then was starting to get pushed around the ridge that we were using as kind of like a little checkpoint, trigger point. And as that was doing that, the grayback crew boss and the task force leader were kind of out in front of their crew that was lighting, and then kind of what would be in the black area. And they were all kind of just looking up the hill, focusing on their operation. And as they realized that the fire was burning towards them from air attack and various communications from jumpers telling them their situation, they kind of started hightailing it back towards the retardant line. And like it was almost like, in the cartoons when a building's falling and the cartoon character is standing right where the window would hit them. That's exactly what happened. They managed to hit the retardant line, and then the fire kind of burned around them just in time, but you could hear them screaming and they're very excited on the radio. But it's probably the closest call I've ever seen in fire, and unfortunately there's nothing you could do, just watch. And you made attempts on the radio to tell them their situation, and otherwise they just have to make the effort to move. Luckily it was a second on their side. But yeah.